Hey guys, so in this tutorial we're going to talk about one of the most important flows that you can have for your e-commerce store, and it's called the abandoned checkout flow. We're going to cover how you can set it up step by step, what you should have in each message, how long this flow should be, how to segment it if you need to segment it, what you should be testing in this flow because testing is crucial if you want to improve this flow further, and we're going to cover the best email examples so you can have the inspiration when you start designing emails for this flow and you can utilize it to the fullest. So first of all, why this flow is very important. This is the example from one of our clients. You can see in only 1 month, it has generated over $38,000 and it has $5.12 per recipient. And this flow has 4 messages. So these stats are very good. So this is the reason that you should have this flow. And if you don't have this flow, you're having a lot of low-hanging fruits that you should pick up, right? So first of all, we have to discuss what's the difference between the cart and checkout abandonment flow, because many people mix up these two. The difference between the abandoned checkout and abandoned cart is that abandoned checkout occurs when people add your product to the cart, proceeds to the checkout, enter their contact information, then they abandon the page, right? While the abandoned cart happens when people add the product to the cart and then they abandon the process of the purchase without going to the checkout. So the difference between these two is the abandoned checkouts occurs when people abandon the checkout, while the abandoned cart triggers when people add the product to the cart and then they abandon before proceeding to the checkout. It's crucial to understand these two because Klaviyo for some reason names the abandoned checkout as the abandoned cart, so which is wrong. For some reason they do it, I don't know what's the reason, but it doesn't matter. You have to understand this and you should have both of this flow. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to cover the abandoned checkout flow, so when people are in the checkout and they abandon. And in some of the other videos, we're going to cover the abandoned cart because it's also a crucial flow that you should have. Usually your abandoned checkout will perform better because people are closer to the purchasing than they are with the abandoned cart, but nevertheless you should have both these things on your Klaviyo account. So first of all, we're going to cover how to set up the abandoned checkout flow step by step. Go to your Klaviyo account, then go on the create flow, then here type in abandon. Now here you will see abandoned cart reminder, standard email and SMS, and right beside it you will see the abandoned cart reminder which has the add to cart trigger. So that's the difference between the abandoned checkout and the abandoned cart. So for the purpose of this video, as I mentioned, we're going to cover the abandoned checkout, which is the one on the right, the one that has standard email and SMS. Click on it. Here, just to confirm that you're doing the abandoned checkout, you can see when someone checkout started, that's when the flow triggers. And we want to have it that way, so just click on the create flow. Now here in this template you will see that it has both SMS and email, but for the purpose of this video we're going to cover only email. So for that reason we want to remove SMS because we don't want to trigger any SMS sending in this flow. Click on the SMS, then click on the delete, then delete SMS. Now we have this conditional split which basically split people who receive SMS or not, and it sends SMS or email based on that. So we don't need this split also, so we want to remove it, but make sure to remove the yes branch of it because we don't want to remove this one which contains email. So just to do that, click on 3 dots here, click on delete, then delete the yes path, the one that is empty right now. So that's it. Right now we have the abandoned checkout flow with 2 emails in it, right? So now you have created very basic abandoned checkout with 2 emails. And the next question is how long this email flow should be. The ideal length to start with this flow is 3 emails. But if your third email, basically the last email of this flow, performs great, for example, it has open rates over 60%, it has a good click-through rate and all that stuff, you can consider adding the 4th email so you can generate even more revenue from this flow. But for the starting point, let's start with 3 emails, then we'll see later if we want to expand or not, right? To do that, you can simply copy this one, click on clone, and you will see it is cloned here. Now we want to have a time frame so it doesn't instantly send this one, then this one. Just clone this and put it up here. I'll set it to be as a 1-day delay. Cool. Also, you want to rename this one as abandoned cart email 3, so it makes sense not as a copy. You can do that by clicking on here, then removing this abandoned cart email 3 and click on the save. Okay, awesome. So now we have the template, we have the ideal length for the start, which is 3 emails. The next question is, what should each email contain? It's well known that for abandoned checkout, you want to give some incentive to give that extra push to place the order, like providing with a discount or free shipping and stuff. But the problem is that many people make the mistake. They provide the discount right after the first email, which is a mistake because you give away your profits for no reason. Most of the time people will just need a casual reminder on your first email. They don't need like coupon code or similar stuff. So for that reason, we don't want to give our discounts right away. We don't want to give our margins right away. The first email should be the casual reminder, right? The thing is that you can also add a bit of social proof here, because the social proof usually for people that are just on the fence to buy things gives that extra push, and you can do that here, right? The second email, which is sent 1 day later, you can set it 20 hours. It's by default set as 20 hours, but you can set it 1 day. So on the second email, you want to send them again a reminder. But this time you can include a bit of benefits of your products. You can add a bit of urgency, scarcity, that you're running out of stock. Again, we don't want to give them a discount code here or free shipping or whatever. Just send them a casual reminder, and most of the time that will work, right? On the end of this video, we will see how great examples of emails of this flow look like. So you will have the inspiration when you're creating these emails, the design or copywriting and stuff. The third email is finally the email that we give them offer. The thing is that the second email and third email are going to trigger only if they still haven't placed the order that they have forgotten in their checkout. You don't have to set up this. This is all set up with the Klaviyo trigger, so you don't have to worry about that at all. As I mentioned, the third email, you want to give them an offer, an incentive with the urgency, like it's expiring in 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever. And here you want to test out different things, which we're going to cover later in the testing part of this video. There are 3 types of incentives you can give to them. First is the percentage discount, for example, 10% off. Second is dollar discount, for example, $5 off the order. And the third one is free shipping, right? You want to test all these things so you can see which one resonates the best with your audience. That incentive that you give to your customer on the third email, you want it to be as dynamic discount, which means when the email is sent to your customer, that's when the dynamic discount is created, and it will have the expiration time, for example 24 hours, that you set on your Klaviyo, right? This is super important because you don't want your discounts to be leaked and stuff. You want them to be automatically created for the recipients that should have them, and you want of course to make them expire, so it gives that urgency feeling, right? And the creation of the dynamic discount is fairly simple, and I'll show you that step by step. First of all, go back to the Klaviyo account, go to the coupons, then go to the create Shopify coupon. The first thing that you have to do is to set up the name of the discount. You have to remember this, because by this name later you will see how you link your email to your discount code. For this example, we will set it up as CC free shipping. CC stands for coupon code, for example. I will set it up as a free shipping in my case. Maximum shipping rate, let's say $10. Eligibility, let's say United States. Activation is at the send time. So this is what I said. This code will be created when you're sending the abandoned checkout email to your visitors who have abandoned the checkout. So it's unique code for them, and it will have the expiration time as, let's say, for example, 24 hours. After this, just click on the create coupon. I won't create it right now because I don't need it for this Klaviyo account. Create a coupon and it will appear on your coupon codes page. Now, one very important thing that I rarely see e-commerce brands do is auto-applying a discount code to your buttons. This is super important because it will make it easier for your customers to apply discount code and make a purchase, so they don't have to hassle with remembering, writing it down and stuff. They will simply click on the button and discount code will be auto-applied to their checkout, so they will just need to place the order, which makes the purchasing process way easier. They don't have to remember it and all the stuff. If this is how you do it, I will show you on the live example. So now I'm back in the flow that we have previously created, and I'll go to the third flow where we want to set up the discount and incentivize to complete their order. Click on 3 dots, then click on the edit. Now, of course, you don't want your emails to look like this. This is just like a very basic Klaviyo template. How it looks like, it looks pretty basic and stuff, but don't worry, later on this video we will walk through some of the best examples for this flow so you can have the inspiration when you're designing and writing for these emails. Now, you will notice that on your button you have the event extra checkout underscore URL. This means that your button will automatically redirect your email recipients to their checkout, which is great feature. You have this on all your emails. But what we want to do here is to automatically add the discount code. So when they click this button, they go to the checkout and they also have the discount code auto apply, right? So how we will do that? So as I mentioned, you'll see this parameter that you have here. And what you have to do is to add the extension to it. So this is how it looks in the example. We have this extension. Then this is the parameter that we have to add to make it work. I will highlight it so you can have it for your reference, right? So basically you only have to add this extension, which I have highlighted below. And what you have to do is to replace this coupon name with the coupon code name that you have previously created. In my example, it's CC underscore free shipping. Now you simply copy this whole URL and you paste it here. So now when your visitors click on the button, they will automatically be redirected to the checkout and have the coupon code auto-applied. I will also in this video share you this document so you can easily do this yourself and speed up the process, right? Now the fourth thing for this video is, let's say you want to create specific messages for specific products. So you basically want to build a specific messages when people forget specific products in their checkout, and this is how you do it. If you don't need this, you can just skip this step and proceed on what you should be testing and how. To set up a specific flow segmentation for this, you will have to add the trigger split on the beginning of this flow, basically just after the trigger. The dimension, you want to select items, then contains, and if you want to add a list or a text type, you can add a text type. So item equals, you can select item contains. So now let's say, for example, you want to create a specific flow for all the products that contain the hat in their product title. All you'll have to do here is to type in hat and click on the save. And now every time someone forgets the product in their checkout that contain the hat in the product title, this part of the flow will be triggered. And if it doesn't contain, this part of the flow will be triggered. Obviously you want to clone this and place them here so you can have another sequence for this flow. And this is how you can basically segment your flow so you can make a specific message for specific product types, collections, or whatever. Okay, awesome. So for now, because I don't need this, I will delete the no path so we can proceed with what we have here. The fourth thing of this video is the testing. Testing is very important because by testing you can only know what works for your audience, and that way you can optimize your flow to generate as much profit as possible from it, because that's what we want, right? The most important thing that you can test here is timing. For example, if you want a 1 hour versus 4 hour, and I will show you how you can do that, but let's first cover what you can test. Then when you have a winning variant, you narrow it down. For example, let's say 1 hour won over the 4 hours, and we narrow it down like 30 minutes versus 1 hour. Next thing you can test is subject lines. You can test emoji without emoji. You can test questions. You can try with the funny angle. You can do the scarcity and etc. By testing the subject lines, you impact the open rates of your emails. So if your open rates are low, you improve it by testing better subject lines. The next thing that you can test is email content, short versus long, images versus text, funny again without being funny and stuff. And by doing different email content tests, the metric that you impact is the click rate. So basically when your people open your emails, how many of them click on the button and go to the checkout, right? And the fourth thing that you can test here is the offer. You want to try a percentage discount, you want to try a $1 discount, you want to try the free shipping discount. You should really test all these things because you can't know right off the bat which one works the best for your audience. So for that reason, you should definitely test. So now let's cover how you can do the testing step by step and how you observe it and see which one performs better so you can optimize it towards that, right? So first thing you want to do here is to add a conditional split. Again, right after the checkout has started, and you will see the conditional split has added. Once again, you have two sequences here. What you want to do here is to select a condition. It's going to be a random sample. and it has already selected the 50% of people. Now click on the save. So now when you have said this, what it means is that 50% of people will go with this sequence and 50% of people will go with this one. So let's say we want to test different time frames. So we want to test 4 hours, which is the default, versus 1 hour to get them to receive our emails sooner. So what you will do here is clone this time delay and simply place it here. And now you want to change the time delay to 1 hour. Okay, cool. So then what you should do is to clone every of these emails and place them on the right sequence. Now, one important thing is that you should always test one thing at a time. You don't want to test different time frames with different offers and stuff. You want to test one thing at a time, because if it performs better, you will not know why it performs better, because you will have many tests going on at the same time. So for that reason, you want to test one thing at a time, and I suggest you to start testing with different time delays. And this is how to do it. What you will also do is just like clone all these things and place them again on the right side, so it's basically the same with the only exclusion of the time delays. You should understand that you shouldn't make conclusions too fast. You should let bot flows get at least 500 recipients before making a conclusion on which one is better. So it's very normal for some sequence to initially work better, but after some time to get beaten by the other sequence. So make conclusions once you have significant data on your account. I would recommend that as at least 500 recipients on both left one and the right one. So now that we have covered how to set up this flow, how long it should be, how to set up discount code and all that stuff, let's cover how great an email example look like, so you can have the inspiration when you're starting with designing and writing your emails for this flow. First thing we'll do is go to the website called Really Good Emails, and here you will select the abandoned cart. Here you will see great examples of other brands, how their email look like, so you can have the inspiration when you're designing and writing your emails. As you can see, let's do this. Looks like you will have some awesome gear in your cart. We can't promise it'll stick around, so now it's a good time to officially make it yours. They're creating some kind of urgency here. It's just a casual reminder, and that's how I would recommend you to go for the first email to look like. They have also included some other products. You can include a bit of social proof here instead of other products and stuff. And this is how a great email look like. Very simple, not too long. Let's go for the another one. Forget something, we saved this for you, but we can only hold it for a limited time. So again, you can see they're creating a bit of urgency here. They have listed which one is there. This will be also automatically listed with the Klaviyo, so you can see, I will show you. So your product will also dynamically be shown here, item product title. So Klaviyo does that job already for you, which is great. You don't have to worry about that. And that's it. As you can see, they don't have a discount code. So let's cover some emails that have the discount code. So here's an email with the discount code. You deserve better sleep. Here's 10% off. You can see how they have gone a bit creative here, which is great. Use code, then it's the code here. Shop now, very short. You can see they have also included their unique value proposition, which is also great to have on the bottom of your emails. Let's go one more. This one, for example, it's a pets brand. So you can see they have gone a bit creative. I guess they have tested being funny versus without being funny, and funny angle has performed better, so they have proceeded with going with it. You can see just a bit of the copy, then again which products are left in the checkout, finish the checkout, very simple CTA and stuff. Again, some unique value proposition on the bottom, and that's it. So you have to test out, of course, various things, and by time you will see which angle performs the best for your brand. So that's it for this video. I hope this helped you with understanding how to set up the abandoned checkout flow, what are the best practice, what you should be testing, how to create a very good discount codes, how to auto apply them, which is very important. And I will also leave you this document in the description so you can access it, and you have this tutorial in the written format as well if it fits you better. So that's it for now. See you in the next one.